You're listening to Fear in the Southwest podcast. This is Drew.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Lewis.
Welcome back, our spooky friends. Boy, do we got a topic today. Fear into gore, gruesome, brutal. This is the episode for you. If you're not, you might want to shy away. Go check out our haunted house episode. That might be more your suit.
True. But I think they'll enjoy it.
Oh, they should. I mean, they're already here, right?
Exactly.
So while you're here, let's dive into torture and execution.
And assassination.
Did you just spoil yours?
A little bit.
Lewis goes right on the assassination.
He's
always-
excited. He's excited
excited.
about this one.
But he always complains when other people start to, give little sneak peeks of stuff. Like give parcels away of what a topic is. Like, why you gotta do that? Don't go giving no spoilers. And yet here he is giving us partial spoiler.
Everything we're going to be talking about today can include assassination.
Oh, that's true.
I mean,
So-
yeah.
So what is our topic today?
Again, execution and torture
I know, I'm just fucking with you.
And assassination.
and assassination.
And a lot of assassins were executed if they got caught.
And they still are.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you're caught as an assassin, yeah.
Well, except for
get
one that tried to shoot and kill a president. He's now out of the mental hospital and thriving, apparently.
Which one's this?
John Hinckley,
Oh.
the shooter of President Reagan.
Reagan, yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's because Reagan's been dead so long. So
All right, Lewis, what's yours? We'll let you start it off.
mine is the garrote.
Can we get a little more information on what the hell that is? Because I know people going, the hell's a garrote?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the garrote it's made of different materials. It can be made of rope, cloth, cable ties, fishing lines, guitar strings, telephone cord, or piano wire.
So how exactly does the garrote kill you is what I was getting at with that question.
Well, I'm getting there.
I'm impatient.
it's
What can I
like-
say?
They put a collar type thing on your neck, and depending on the material they use for that collar, it can either strangle you or it can decapitate you.
Jesus.
It just depends on what they want to do to you. But it was used as a execution device over in Spain. Up until 1981 when it was banned. But they would kill any guerrillas or priests or any other opponent of Napoleonic rule. And usually it was a metallic garrote that after 1828 where it would
Just take off the head.
take off the head.
Jesus.
And they would do it in public.
What is with executions?
But that was up until the 70s, I believe, when they switched over to just in the prisons and the public didn't see it no more.
That actually stopped in the last public garroting was in Barcelona in May of 1897.
Oops, wrong date. My bad, people.
But they would let the public watch a person be garroted and having their neck cut off or their head cut off from the neck.
It kind of stemmed from the Romans about how public executions could be entertaining for the masses. Not only did it teach a lesson to the masses, it also was a form of stress relief for the masses. So a lot of cultures had adopted the whole public execution thing as a way of relieving the stress and anxiety of the masses by killing off offenders.
But yeah, and now the garrote is still used today by people who are trying to sneak up and kill like a mercenary.
Oh shit.
They'll go up to a guard at a gate or something, but they can do it where it automatically retracts on its own.
Jeez.
Like, or they'll have two wooden sticks and then they'll just twist them. Yeah. They can be, they say it's a humane way of dying, but
That's awful.
Well,
I'm sorry, there's no such thing as humane when you're executing someone.
it technically what they're referring to is if you actually cut off the blood vessel in your neck, it'll immediately cause your brain to just go unconscious. Due to the immediate lack of blood to the brain, can cause almost near instantaneous unconsciousness. It was just the reason why they consider it humane, because the person's knocked out and they're not going to suffer. They're still going to slowly die, but they're not going to show any signs of suffering. Yay.
Yeah, but it can take forever sometimes to strangle.
Oh,
to
yeah.
death.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It wasn't there another even worse version of a garrote that they came out with that had a metal collar or something?
Yeah. And they would strap you to the chair and then they would
A chair, yeah.
and they would twist it and
Yeah, they made another form of that, as I recall. I was reading somewhere. Where it didn't just, the collar isn't what actually moved and strangle you. There was a big screw.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
would go
It was
into
designed
the
to
back of
bore-
your head.
Right, and it was supposed to
Yeah.
sever your brainstem from your spinal cord, causing instantaneous death.
Yeah, I saw a movie. that did
Occasionally,
that.
their aim wasn't all that great. Especially if you move yourself like, I don't want to be in this. And yeah, it'll cause slow. Not only will you bleed to death from the screw penetrating the back of your head or back of your neck, but also you get strangled.
yeah.
Yeah, the show I saw that in, it was actually from Spain, and they put them on this like platform, and they had the people watch of whoever he supposedly killed, hit their family and stuff.
But the Ottomans, they used it as well.
Leave it to the Ottomans.
But they would only use it for the very high officials and members of the ruling family.
Oh.
Unlike the Spanish, who would, unlike the Spanish, a bowstring was used instead of a tightening collar.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Damn.
Garrote is brutal.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's definitely up there in the top 10 of most
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah.
And Spain used it all the way up until 1981 as their main form of capital punishment until it was banned. Spain actually became the last country Andorra became the last country to officially abolish the death penalty by garroting in 1990. But Spain banned it in 1978. It's just, I would not want to die like that.
Oh, hell no. No. Give me something else. Give me an electric chair. Give me a guillotine. Fucking, I'll take
Guillotine. Guillotine.
Guillotine.
whatever.
If
Guillotine.
you're going to talk about it, get the name right, damn it.
Look, I took only 1 year of French, okay? And that was way back when I was a kid. Give me a break.
All right. What's yours, Jason?
Oh, I was going to have Miss Stephanie go next.
Okay, go for it, Miss Steph.
So it's called lapidation, but it's stoning.
Oh.
So,
Jeez.
yeah.
Another brutal form.
Yes, it's awful, and it's actually still practiced in some countries, especially Middle Eastern.
I'm seeing a
countries.
pattern here. Did we all pick from the top 10 of most gruesome execution devices?
Like, this one is terrible. They take you and they bury you part of the way, so you have no way of getting around, and then they throw rocks at you of all sizes.
And they're not the
Oh.
small ones.
No, they bash your head, break your face, break your bones.
Oh,
That's
shit.
That's
I know,
pretty
I
much
think-
how you die. And you see it. You see the people throwing them at you. They
Oh, wow.
use it as a form of humiliation.
And it's the whole town.
And it can be in some of the countries that still practice it, it can be something as being accused of adultery. No proof that adultery took place, but they will take someone, bury them from the waist down.
Personally, I think I'd rather have him bury me from the neck down. Be a lot quicker. One good rock to the head, bam, dead.
But
Terrible.
Hope.
Yeah.
it's part
Some
of
of us hard headers.
there's a lot
yeah.
of countries that use Sharia law, like Afghanistan and
Oh, yeah.
Iran and those type of countries.
Oh, they definitely pick from the top 10 of worst executions.
Oh yeah.
And,
or most gruesome, I should say.
you know, there's some where they have bolts in the ground, and so they hold you like this. You can't move. You can't escape the stone coming at you. But they also did this in Roman times, and they would even get children involved. They would get them amped up, like, here, throw a stone at this person.
Oh my god.
Again, the Romans love to use executions as a form of entertainment to relieve stress of the masses.
Well, stoning was even talked about in the Bible.
It was, yes.
It was,
Yep.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was used way back in biblical times, too, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they say that. Well, nope, I'm not going there because no.
Yeah, let's leave the religion alone here. We
Yeah.
got enough nastiness to talk about as it is. Not to mention, the church, they've used quite a few nasty ones themselves, too.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm saying. All religions use a nasty form of torture in some type.
Oh, man, that could be a whole episode right there. It's
Yeah.
all too, come to think of it.
Because in the church, you even had crucifixion.
Yeah.
So they would nail you to a cross and let you hang there for 3 days.
And the weight of your body would cause your lungs to collapse. And
Then the way they would check you is take a spear and jab you in the side.
Yeah.
If you flinch or move, oh, he's still alive. If you don't, okay, he dead now.
Yeah. Yeah. So the churches came up with some really nasty, nasty forms of torture as well.
And that's from the Catholics, too. Go
you
figure.
had the burning at the stake.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
for
that
people
one.
who
Yeah.
were convicted of witchcraft or
Salem.
they were
Yeah, my home area. Yep,
But Jason.
All right, now I guess we can talk about mine. Mine's rather kind of gruesome as well. It is called blowing from a gun. Now, I know most people are listening to this going, oh my God, he's getting sexual with this thing? No.
What the hell?
Wow.
I guarantee you. No, I was looking this one up. And not only did I go and get the information I needed, the historical stuff, but yes, there was some websites about sexuality with that. I don't want to go back into that one. But no, basically what blowing from a gun is they would take you, put you against the muzzle of a cannon. Now, it could either be a blank shot in it, it could be a cannonball, it could be a grape shot. Also could be filled with a whole bunch of other debris. It was whatever they had on hand at the time, really. So they would put your back right up against the muzzle and strap you to the wheels and the whole chassis to where you can't move, and your back basically makes a nice airtight seal. And they would light the fuse and set off the cannon and blow you apart.
oh my gosh.
Your head would usually end up flying like 40 to 50 feet in the air. And this was used all the way up until the 1930s in Afghanistan, of course, mostly. They're the ones that used it the latest. I do believe. Yeah, the other ones ended up before the 20th century. A lot of the other countries and they just stopped using it and whatnot. I mean, although there was a alleged report of it from a defector from North Korea where someone was used as a public execution where they were strapped to an anti-aircraft gun and the thing was shot off. Yes, like it was alleged from a defector, so we can't really prove it or anything because North Korea doesn't allow, even though it was a public execution, it was only public for North Korea. Only the rest of the world doesn't know about it. So there's real no actual collaborations with it. And this whole execution was done publicly, of course. It was used against rebels and, criminals and whatnot. But a lot of times, there was a few times where it wasn't always safe to be a spectator of it.
Well, I wonder why when the body's head is thrown
Shrapnel.
off.
Well, normally all the
Body
soldiers and
parts.
everything, they would have it and they would shoot it and they would be, far enough away. And of course, the spectators would be far enough away not to get hit with a lot of the shrapnel and whatnot from the body. But there was one where, I can't remember where it was. I don't remember which one it was, which empire had used it, but, oh, yeah, here it is. There was a mass execution in Firozpur in the 1800s, 1857, where the order was given to use blank shots because the crowd was going to be a little close. Well, unfortunately, somebody done fucked up, and not all the cannons were loaded with blanks. Some were loaded with grape shot. Now, for those who may not know what the hell a grape shot is, it's a couple cannonballs attached to chains that would normally use in naval battles, and they would shoot at other ships, and its design was destroy the mast, stop the ship from moving. So you can imagine what the hell this could do if it shot out a cannon at you. Okay, and yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the people were injured. The spectators were injured who were facing the cannon from the grape shot continuing on through the body and into the down. A lot of the soldiers that were nearby also got nailed thanks to the grape shots blowing apart the way they do. They got nailed by the splinters of the bone fragments and whatnot, and bits and pieces of other things. There was some people that were killed, and others that had to go and had their limbs amputated because of it.
Oh.
So, like I said, it. There was also another one. This poor fucking bastard. He was a soldier who was going to be executed by blowing from a gun. They didn't have him tied tight enough.
Oh.
He actually worked himself loose enough where he fell down just as the blank went off, but one arm was still kind of attached near the cannon. It didn't get destroyed. No, instead it caught on fire. So this guy is half, his legs are still attached to it. He's just had the one arm and most of his body clear of the barrel. But his arm's on fire, he's agonizing in pain. So the officer walks up with his pistol, pulls the trigger. The cap hits, nothing. Reloads, again, nothing. Does a third time. Now this guy, he's over there wincing every time he hears that hammer falling because he's waiting for the shot to go off, and it's just not going off. 3 times the officer tried with his pistol. Pistol just refused to fire. And you think at this time, they're going to let him go and probably throw him in prison. No, they grabbed a rifle and shot him in the head.
Oh my God.
That went off. That actually went off and killed him, but it had blood gushing out of his mouth and his nose and everything. It's just like a waterfall of blood coming out of his head. Yeah, it was. Yeah, there was actually a historical document written about that, and the person who wrote it they said the blood poured out of the nose and mouth like water from a briskly handled pump.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I have seen death in all its forms, but never anything equal to this man's end.
Jesus.
Yes.
Oof.
And of course, they also had birds of prey would usually be around the execution site. And they've even seen there's even been reports where some birds, as soon as the body's blown apart, will actually swoop down and grab chunks of the flesh in midair.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Mughals used it, the Portuguese, British India, and then of course
who?
Mughals?
What the hell is a mug hall?
An Indian subcontinent
Oh, okay.
from the mid 1800s earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, like I said, Afghanistan was actually one of the last ones to, I guess, stop using it in the 1930s.
In the 1930s.
Yes, they used it all the way up into the 20th century. Like I said, there's that report from North Korea defector, but we don't really have any concrete evidence on that one. So that's kind of hearsay. It's a legend, you might want to say. But yeah, the Afghans would use it against, like I said, mostly against rebels and political factions that were against whoever was trying to take charge, basically. If you were part of a weak government, more than likely if they caught you and decided to overthrow you, yeah, you were going to die by capital punishment. Probably blowing from a gun or any of the numerous... I mean, Afghanistan, they used numerous types of capital punishment. So, yeah, it's kind of like a little lottery if you get caught for capital punishment in Afghanistan. It's like, let's spin the wheel of death and find out how you die.
Okay. Andrew.
Fuck. Ding, ding, ding. Blowing from a gun.
Which one do you have for us today?
Oh, we're just going to continue on this list of fucking brutal shit.
I told you, I suspected we were all going to pick from the top 10.
This one, flaying.
Oh, I was just reading about that on the way here, too.
Flaying.
Anybody want to flay a fish? Yeah.
I was hungry,
Hey, wait.
but now I'm not.
How come that fish looks kind of humanoid?
Flaying is a method of slow, painful torture. And, I mean, it talks for itself, but, like, they'd basically hang you on a thing and just basically just slicing your skin off. And they would also leave it intact. They wouldn't cut it all the way off. It'd be hanging. And they would start at your lower limbs, legs. They would cut off your butt.
Some people might enjoy that.
They would flay your ass, work their way up, and then they would eventually die of blood loss and hypothermia because of lack of skin to insulate them. This is dating back to like Greek, all the way into like some Chinese emperors did this to their servants. There was one that they would flay them and then hang them around the city. Awesome cylinder. British Museum describes their corpses. They hung on stakes. They took their skins and covered the city's wall with them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nasty.
that's disgusting. That's nasty.
Oh, did you hear about the two lovers of Prince Philip IV's daughter-in-laws? Yeah. Yeah. They weren't just flayed. They were also, after being flayed, they were then castrated and then beheaded, and then their bodies were put into a gibbet. I don't know how many people, a lot of games and movies show what this thing is. People probably don't know what it was called. But it's that big metal cage that's hung from like a gallows that you put a person into. That's called a gibbet. And it was a form of execution because you would usually starve to death in that thing. But yeah, so they threw their bodies in there. I don't know what they did with the heads, though. I couldn't find any information on that one, unfortunately.
I'm surprised they didn't disembowel them too while they were filleting them.
No, that was more of... That was well, I mean, that was from Europe, so, I mean, they were all about the whole drawing and quartering thing.
Yeah.
Flaying was done all over. Like Persia, Britain, medieval Europe.
Yeah, Europeans, man, they had some... Back in the day, some in the modern times, they had some nasty ways of killing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where Ed Gein got his inspiration from.
I knew he was going to... We should have known you were going to go and bring that guy back up. If you want to know more about Ed Gein, check our previous episode on serial killers.
We got content. Spooky, scary content. Yeah, so flaying sounds absolutely just
It's
brutal.
Yes.
Let me just bleed to death and then die of hypothermia because one's
into
outside
shock,
and you're in shock and now you can't insulate yourself because they removed your skin.
Yeah.
I think this is this new series.
I think so too.
Oh, yeah, we've only just... Like I
we
said,
just tapped it. Yeah.
there's
just
a good...
tapped it.
There's a top 10. We've only hit like 4 or 5, maybe 6. I lost count. But there's still more than that. I mean, that's just the top 10.
You know why you
brutal.
lost count?
Huh.
Sound check. 3, 7, 5, 20, 27. What?
100, 105.
Oh, I was doing that to mess around with people. But no, I mean, there's a lot more executions. Some aren't quite as gruesome. Lethal injection, that's one of the least gruesome ones.
That depends on if they can hit your vein.
Oof.
Yeah. There's also
Death by helium.
Yep.
Oh
yep.
yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
What the hell is it called? Asphyxiation by inert gas. It's a new one that they just started this year. So far, only one person's died by it. And it is supposed to be quick and humane because they fill it with inert gas that's robs you of your breath within 1 or 2 of them. It causes immediate unconsciousness. So, and it quickly snuffs you out. I mean, it is one of the fastest asphyxiation types that we have now. So that is one of the most humane now because they put you in a room, suck out the oxygen and pump in this stuff, and you're pretty well dead fast, and no respiratory struggles or anything like some other forms of asphyxiations. But yeah,
I think we found a topic for the next couple of
episodes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've only scratched the surface. I mean, we're just going to start from the most brutal and work our way all the way down to the cleanest.
to the most
Cleanest,
humane.
cleanest.
Most
That's gonna be a
humane.
challenge, isn't it?
Well, there's only what? Let's see. There's asphyxiation by inert gas and lethal injection. Oh, those are the 2 I know of that are. I mean, there's the hanging, but you got to break the neck immediately, otherwise, it's not that humane.
I know later on they started taking the weight of the inmates and doing practice runs with dummies to make sure they get it right so it snaps the neck instantly and they're not just hanging there forever.
That's brutal too.
Yeah, it is.
Do we want to talk about more in this episode?
Can talk, I'm sure.
There's a lot more.
Yeah, there's a lot.
All right.
You
How
know,
about being boiled alive?
Ah, yes.
yeah, that one sounds terrible.
Death by boiling. Oh my god.
Yeah, they would have like a huge pot and they would hang them by chains or rope on top and then slowly lower them down, usually starting at the feet. If you were lucky, you got started at the head, so you died instantly. You know?
Anyone want some prisoner pasta?
Oh.
Nasty.
Oh.
That actually made me want to,
Yeah.
ugh.
Joking.
That takes a lot to make me.
Oh.
Ugh.
That was
I
just
finally got her on one.
that was just nasty.
Yep. I know.
That's gross. It
I'm sorry.
reminds me. Never mind.
It reminds you of
It reminds me of a woman who died in a water tank at a hotel, and
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
was drinking
In
the
that
water,
water, yep.
from this hotel, bathing in it, and they reported a smell. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what that reminded me of. That was nasty.
That was in Cali, wasn't it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they say don't drink the water in Mexico. Don't drink the water in Cali, apparently.
Oh man.
Don't know why they think everything contains cancer. They're drinking people over there.
Wow, this got really dark and twisted really fast. It was already dark, but dang.
But to get away from the boiled people, let's just go back to the guillotine for a moment.
Oh yeah, the guillotine. Good old guillotine.
A heavy blade on a
80-pound metal blade.
Yeah.
Cut at an angle.
Cut at an angle, and it was held up by a rope. When they got the person's neck in the neck into the holder, and clamped down, they cut the rope, and down goes the weight, and goes the head into a basket.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it didn't start out with an angled blade. It was originally a flat one, but when they were doing the animal testing and noticing that it didn't, slice through as fast as they wanted, one of the assistants to the guy, senior,
Wasn't it the king?
Monsieur.
Wasn't the king like, hey, cut it, do the blade at an
Oh
angle?
yeah, it was the king. Yeah, he was like, that looks nice and all, but can we make it faster? Like, what if we turn the blade? Because I know sometimes when the executioner's axe would do like a little saw motion at an slide, it would cut faster. Can we do something like that? And of course, Monsieur Guillotine was like, I think we can do something like that, Your Majesty. Change the blade to an angle. Next testing they did, it sliced through rapid. I mean, it was like 2 seconds, done.
And that became a very, very profound use of public execution.
Oh, but its very first usage almost caused a riot in the streets.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they parade the guy in, I can't remember the guy's name. They parade him down in the wagon just like they used to do with the old hangings. Everybody's over there like, kill him, throwing stuff at him. And they load him up onto the new device. Everybody's like, oh, I can't wait to see what he does when they use this. All excited. They lay him down, hook him in. Executioner is given the nod from the presiding judge. Pulls the lever. 2 seconds. Boom. Head in the basket. Everybody's like, what?
That's it.
What happened? Judge comes over, picks up the head, or one of the guards picks up the head, shows to everybody he is now dead, puts it back in the basket. Everybody's like,
that's it?
That's it, yeah.
What the hell? We
Too
want
quick.
more. So, the king heard this. He heard the outcries. And he told him, okay, we're going to redo this on our next execution. Don't worry, guys. We got you. They turned it into a fucking festival. They had shop stalls lining in the execution square. Food vendors. Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's a carnival.
It became a carnival. It was reminiscent of the old gladiatorial games in the Colosseum of ancient Rome. Because you didn't just go there just to go and see someone get killed off or some gladiators fight to maiming or even potentially death. You would also, have people that would sell you food down in the lower areas on the outside. They would sell, different kind of souvenirs and shit. It was a giant festival back in the old Rome days. And of course, King Louis the 16th, I think? 14th? One of the King Louis. One of the later ones. I don't remember which one. I can't remember now. He's like, hey, we need to kind of bring something like that back, because if we do a quick, fast execution, the people are not going to feel like justice was served. They're going to feel like they got robbed, just like today. And the best part is during the Dark Ages, when this thing was in full swing, and King Louis gets overthrown, his ass goes right there on the chopping block of the guillotine.
Yep.
The same instrument that he implemented as a form of more humane way of executing people than hanging, he died.
Well, they weren't hanging people in France at the time.
Well,
the guillotine took the place of the breaking wheel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The breaking wheel was pretty nasty.
Well, the hanging was, the people weren't really, they weren't impressed with that one, so they brought out Catherine's wheel, or the breaking wheel, it was also called, and
the wheel of Catherine. Yeah.
And when people started getting bored,
people to death.
Yeah, but then people started getting bored with that execution, which is the reason why,
and they saw the suffering and everything.
Yeah,
and
they were like,
they got grossed out by it, and they petitioned for something more humane. And but it also led to science and to everything, because the blade would come down so fast when they'd hold the head up. Sometimes the mouth would still be moving or say something and blink, and that's when they realized the brain still had activity, because it was cut so fast. And they started to do studies, so that started a whole thing.
But the Germans during Hitler used the guillotine more times in their 3-year reign of terror than the French ever did. They killed over 16,500 people with the guillotine during Hitler's reign.
Yeah, basically Hitler looked at the list of, let's see, we need something historically kind of significant, because he was all about supernatural and significances, and anything that, would help propel and show he was mighty, so he was always going with the old historic stuff. And I guess he found the guillotine and went, that was used for quite a few years. I mean, still used. It's still being used in France, which is nice. It only killed this many people? No. We can beat that record easy.
But the guillotine was used in Germany, in West Germany, until 1949. The East Germans kept it until 1966.
Damn.
Yeah. And the Stasi in East Germany would use it for secret executions. But the most notable of the German victims of the guillotine was from the Nazi government was Marinus van der Lubbe, a Dutch communist blamed for the Reichstag fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was executed by the guillotine in 1934. And it wasn't just used for men. The Nazi government also guillotined Sophie Scholl, who was convicted of high treason after distributing anti-Nazi pamphlets at the University of Munich with her brother Hans. So, yeah, the Germans didn't care if you were a man or a woman.
Nope.
Off with your head. But they killed 10,000 prisoners in 1944 and 1945 alone. Wow. Yeah, they were busy with the guillotine. It never made a big here in the States, though.
No, and so we had other things like stonings and burning at the stakes, drownings,
Firing squad.
ducking,
Firing Squad,
Firing
which is
Squad.
back in Utah and in South
crushing.
Carolina.
Crushing with the
Yeah,
they did that
they
during
put
the
you
Salem
on-
witch trials to a man. They
Put you
did
on one
that.
slab, put another slab on top, and just start placing. Now they didn't throw it on, thank God. They would actually place heavier stones on top of you, and you're like, "Do you confess to witchcraft?" "I didn't do shit." "All right, more stones, more stones." "Do you confess?" "No." "Okay, another stone."
Yeah, it crushes
Well,
you. Oh, no, he's gone.
I'd ask, but I think he's pretty well gone now. Okay, well,
He didn't save himself, so he must not have been a witch. Sorry.
Yeah, he even said more weight.
oh yeah, that one.
Yeah,
that
Giles
one,
Corey. Yeah, he said
Giles
more
Corey.
weight.
More weight, more weight, and they're like, "Oh my god, what the hell's
They
wrong
had
with
killed
this
his
guy?"
wife already, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they'd already.
they had hung her. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the introduction of the electric chair.
Oh, now that's a fun one. Oh.
I think we'll save that for the next episode.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
going to save that one because there's a lot of history that most people
goes into that.
would never even believe was true with it.
So stay tuned for the next episode.
Oh, yes.
We'll go into that
And more.
and more.
Oh, and more. I mean, we're just scratching, like Stephanie said, we're just scratching the surface. There is so much to talk
yeah.
about.
So much.
Especially when you find out that some of these, which were considered former methods, only just barely became former
Yeah.
methods
Yeah.
within the 20th century. I mean, I was looking up the list and I was like, oh my God, this is only just became former? Because you'd hear some of the names and you'd think, oh, that had to have been in the Middle Ages. Oh, no, it's modern day too.
What?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, whoa.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned
Yeah.
for more.
Yes.
I know it's torture.
It's only a week.
You guys got this. Thanks for listening to Fear in the Southwest podcast. Stay spooky. That messed up, but yeah, stay spooky. This is Fear in the Southwest podcast. We'll see you next episode.
Bye-bye.